Hello, sunshine. Today I am popping on to talk about one of my personal favorite tools and one of the techniques that I use with my clients to help them combat overwhelm and to stay focused. So there's something called the Pomodoro Technique. This was created in the late 1980s by Francesco Cirillo. I'm not sure if I am pronouncing the last name correctly. This is a time management technique that tells you or instructs you, recommends that you work for 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break, and then you repeat that cycle for 3 or 4 times. So it'll be 25 minutes working, 5 minutes as a break, 25, 5, 25, 5. And then at the end of 3 or 4 cycles, you take anywhere from like a 20 to 30 minute break. Now, this is something that I use with my clients and with my own self. It's actually the basis of the co-working structure that I use in my Elevate calls every other week, because it helps us to break down a bigger project. It helps us to break down our focus instead of looking at our massive to-do list of all the things, thinking, oh my gosh, I have so much work ahead of me. It allows us to actually break it down into more manageable chunks of time. 25 minutes for most people is a good amount of time to stay really hyper-focused on something, whether that is writing an email, crafting some Canva post, organization, whatever it is that you're working on, right? A landing page, etc. 25 minutes is a good amount of time to really stay focused. And then that 5-minute break allows us to step back, to kind of give our brains a few moments to rest. Now, this is a technique that has been around for 45 years or so, right? Late 1980s, 40 to 50 years, depending on exactly when. But my favorite part of it, and why I use this as the basis of my co-working sessions within Elevate and personally with friends and colleagues, is because of that 5-minute break component. It's not necessarily to keep your focus for 25 minutes. When you come back, right? So you work for 25 minutes, you take 5 minutes off, and then you come back. That 5-minute chunk is enough time away from what you're working on that it actually forces you to come back and reevaluate what you are doing. Let's say, for instance, you are putting together a new landing page for a new product, right? Maybe you got something brand new coming out and you're super excited, so you're putting together a simple landing page for it. You're gonna work through that 25-minute block. Your timer is gonna go off. You're gonna go do something else, whether that is literally just sit there and rest, twirl around in a chair, go, put a load of laundry in, whatever it is that you're doing for those 5 minutes. And then you're going to come back and you're going to have to review the work that you've already done. You have to reacclimate yourself to what you were doing in the previous 25-minute working block. And when we come back and reevaluate, review, look at again what it is that we were doing, it allows us to see it with fresher eyes. As human beings, not just as entrepreneurs, but as human beings, we are very much trained to continue to just like hunker down, blinders on, work until the project is completed. That doesn't help us because we just keep working. We force ourselves to keep going. Where when you use the Pomodoro technique, it actually forces you to take that break and come back and review so you can see, am I still on track? Am I still working in alignment with what my goal was? Is this still in conjunction with the vision I had set, or have I completely gone off the rails? And it gives you that opportunity every 30 minutes or so to reevaluate, to make sure that going with our example of the landing page, that when you get to that 3rd or 4th part of the landing page, that it still matches up with what you are doing, that it is still coherent and consistent and aligned with the vision. Oftentimes when we get really in the zone and focused, especially as entrepreneurs with all of the different inputs and all of the different ideas and all the different interrupting thoughts that can come through, we often get slightly off topic, or we can derail. We can go a little bit too specific in one area, and we just need that opportunity to gently guide ourselves back, right? If we're going in a straight line, and sometimes we go this way, if we just keep going this way for 3 hours until we complete the task, we're gonna end up way over here instead of where we want to. Where when we can use this kind of time management technique that forces us to take that step back, that forces us to review what we're doing, it's much easier to catch those shiftings, those going down the wrong rabbit hole, and redirect back to what we're actually wanting to be doing without wasting as much time. So that's the reason that I use this a lot in my own life in general, why it's the basis of the Elevate co-working sessions, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, and also why it's such a tool that I promote with many of my clients, because it gives us that reminder, right? We're using alarms, we're using a clock, something like that to set those 25-minute blocks and then those 5-minute break blocks. It's giving us that opportunity to take a step back, to take a breath, to make sure that we are really focused on what we want to be focused on. It gives us a chance as well, from an energetic nervous system perspective, to take a breath, to stop and just take a breath. Because when you get really focused, it can be great. It can be really productive. It can be all sorts of things. And maybe you haven't had a drink in 4 hours, right? Like your water bottle is sitting there full on your desk because you have just been so focused. Whereas these 5-minute blocks not only allow us a chance to come back, review, make sure that we are in alignment, right? That we're not shifting too far off course. It also gives us that reminder to take care of ourselves as human beings. Because before we are entrepreneurs, before we are business owners, before we are a coach or a copywriter or whatever it is, right? Before all that, you are a human being. And this allows you that reminder to go, oh, okay, I haven't had anything to drink in 25 minutes. Let me take some water in, right? It's an easier way to remember to eat your lunch. You're not working straight through the day, right? It allows us that opportunity and that reminder, not just the opportunity, but that reminder every 25 minutes, check in with the human. Check in with what like my body needs. Do I need to put on a pair of slippers because the windows are open? Do I need to put the fan on? Do I need to put the light on because it's gotten a little bit darker? All of these things that I know we have all experienced in one form or fashion, right? When you're working really hard on something and you don't realize that like you're squinting because the light has lowered so much and you haven't put the lamp on. This is a really great technique. It's the Pomodoro Technique. I recommend that you check it out. Google it. It's got some cool history to it. There are tons of apps that you can download for free. Honestly though, just set your phone timer for 25 minutes. Reset it for 5 minutes, and then do that 3 to 4 times around. When you have completed 3 to 4 of those cycles, then take a longer break, right? Because you've already, let's say that you do 4 cycles. That's 2 hours of work. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. 4 times is 2 hours of work. Take a longer break, right? And you can adjust the times as needed. The recommended, right, the like technical Pomodoro technique is 25 and 5. But if you need to readjust that to 20 and 5 or 30 and 10, absolutely you can adjust it. Just remember the point of it is to have those frequent opportunities for a break that you take so that you can come back. Review, take that objective, fresh set of eyes, look at what you're working on to make sure that you're staying on track. And also taking care of that human piece of yourself from a nutrition, water, bio breaks, whatever it might be. If this tip was helpful to you, I would love to know. drop a comment in the box below, send me a DM, or just enjoy the use of the Pomodoro technique.